Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Netflix's Tales of Arcadia franchise comes to a close with Trollhunters Rise of the Titans. I was really excited for this movie because I really enjoy the shows. I think Trollhunters is a great show. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. I really enjoyed Three Below and Wizards. So overall, I was just really interested to see what this movie was about and how it was kind of gonna end this saga. Before I tell you guys what I thought about it, let me know down below in the comments, what did you think of Trollhunters Rise of the Titans? And what do you think of the Tales of Arcadia franchise in general? I'd love to know your thoughts. With that said, let's get started. And I've gotta say, as someone that kind of grew up with these franchise, I thought this was a really satisfying conclusion and it delivered on exactly what I wanted. Now I may kind of have a bias because I grew up with this whole thing, but it's still just found a way to culminate in this big event and deliver on what you would want from a conclusion from this franchise. Seeing all the characters together was great. I really enjoyed how the three shows kind of build up to this, and seeing all these different characters interact is a whole lot of fun. Speaking of the characters themselves are really good. Seeing how they started off in their respective shows and seeing where their characters go in this movie, I thought was really fun because they have a great character arc and I really just enjoyed the depth that they got. I thought seeing Jim as this guy that finally found a way to become the leader and just lead this team, I thought was really fun because this is the character that we've been following for the most time. He was the first original character that kind of started this whole thing, so seeing him here lead the team was amazing. I think the animation here is better than ever. It has a really cool look and the 3D style kind of makes for some really cool action sequences. Some of them remind me of Pacific Rim, but it was still really cool. I loved the way it looked. It was stylized really well and it was choreographed really well. So when you're watching it, there's stakes and you kind of feel every single hit. I also thought the story overall was really good, and the movie made some decisions I was really surprised by because they were really dark. There's actually stakes in this movie. There's characters that kind of get hurt. There's characters that die, and you know that there's stakes because of that, and you don't want to see anyone die. So that's why you're kind of on the edge of your seat while watching the movie. Also due to that, we had a lot of emotional moments. The movie was really sad at times, and I almost got teared up a few times. Like I said, this was kind of the culmination event of this whole franchise, so seeing everything build up, the final battle and the final fight, just this epic conclusion, kind of reminded me of Avengers Endgame, because that's pretty much what Avengers Endgame was. This isn't necessarily on the same level as that, but it was still really good and felt like a satisfying conclusion to everything that these shows have been building up to. Now, as satisfying of a conclusion as this movie was, I did have some issues with it, so let's go into some of my negatives. First up, I want to talk about Steve. I wasn't a fan of Steve in this movie. Not that he wasn't funny, I really enjoyed him. I think he had a lot of funny moments, and there were some really fun stuff done with this character, but there's this whole plot line there which was funny, but even though it was funny, I wasn't a fan of the way they dealt with it because it felt very unnecessary and it just didn't fit into the movie really well. There were also a lot of cheesy moments in the movie that I don't think fit the tone as well. I do think they should have left those out, but those are some minor details, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. And finally, I wasn't a fan of the way the movie ended. Now, like I said, I do think it was a satisfying conclusion. I think it worked for the most part, but when you get into the ending, it just kind of undermines everything that happened to these characters, and I wasn't a fan of the way that happened. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you'll know once you see it. But yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the ending. I do think they could have done a better job of that. But other than that, this was a really solid movie in my opinion. Time for my final score, and I'm going to give Trollhunters Rise of the Titans a B+. On an entertainment scale, it's an 8.5 out of 10. I do think this could drop a little bit based off of how I feel about the ending later on. But right now, this is my score. I really enjoyed this film. I think it was a great conclusion to this franchise. And I'm sad that we won't be seeing more, but overall, I really enjoyed this journey. Be sure to let me know down below in the comments, what did you think of this film? And if you enjoyed my review, be sure to leave a like. It really helps me out, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.